loves, and welcome back to Heb's Beauty Lounge. In today's video, I'm going to be answering the top 10 most common questions I get asked as a makeup artist and a lash tech. Now, these are questions that my clients ask me all the time, and I'm sure the answers will help you guys too. Let's get right into the video. Alright guys, the first question I always get asked, and the most common question, is how do you get your makeup to last all day? Now for this, I would definitely recommend a few steps that will help that. First being skincare. Skincare is the most important step. I would definitely recommend starting with a gentle cleanser. I wouldn't really recommend using an exfoliator right before your makeup just because you want to keep the skin gentle and fresh. So once you do that, I would definitely recommend moisturizer and sunscreen. Always wear your sunscreen. I do it twice a day. Definitely recommend at least in the morning when you wake up, when you put your makeup on, or whenever you put it on for the first time. Definitely recommend that. And then eye cream. How you set your base and using the right moisturizer will definitely help it last all day. Making sure your skin is fully hydrated is the best thing you can do. Now the second thing for that, I would definitely recommend using light layers of foundation and product. Now you do not want to overdo your makeup the first time you put it on. You don't want to be putting on half a bottle on one side and just kind of trying to blend it in. It will look cakey, especially when you want to put powder over that. It's just going to add to the cakiness. So I would definitely recommend light layers of foundation, and this can be any foundation, whether it's tinted serum, liquid foundation, whatever it may be. Definitely recommend to just do light layers. Now for my oily girlies, I would definitely recommend to be using powder in your T-zone. So here, and definitely on the chin. Definitely use setting powder, and to help the creasing in your eyes, just when you're looking up, gently pat into the skin with a powder puff. I find is best. Obviously brushes don't really get in there properly in beauty blenders. I rather use for the face just because it's a more larger area, but for eyes definitely recommend powder puffs for setting the powder here. And now the second question I get asked is, do extensions damage your natural lashes? Short answer is no. This does depend obviously on application of the lashes as well as removal of the lashes. Please, if you're ever feeling irritated by them and you just want to pull them out, please don't. Please go back to your lash tech and we will remove them for you. This doesn't usually happen, but I guess some girls can get pretty worried about if they're going to damage their lashes. An alternative, a great alternative for extensions if you're not sure about them yet, or you want to get into kind of getting your lashes done, definitely recommend a lash lift and tint. This will help keep your lashes up all day. It lasts around 6 to 8 weeks, which is great. You get to wake up with fresh lashes every day. They're nice and lifted. We do obviously have different curl sets for everyone's lashes depending on what your lash type is. But yeah, we can definitely make you feel beautiful. Third question, which is pretty common as well. When people come for appointments, they're not too sure about what to get. And they always ask, what's the difference between soft glam and full glam? Now, soft glam is all about that natural, beautiful look. It is obviously more than a natural look, but it's a lot of soft blended edges. Everything is seamless, gorgeous. I love doing soft glam and I love liner. And now the difference with full glam, it's a bit more harsh. It's a bit more bold, nice bold colors, more sharp lines. Soft glam also with the brows, they're just more gentle. I'm just in my soft girl era, so this is why my makeup looks like this basically every day. Now question 4, this is how to pick the right foundation shade. Now I've seen a lot of people recommend to match the shade to your wrist or the back of your hand. I definitely wouldn't really recommend that just because it's not the exact same as your skin and your neck. It can be, but we tan differently in these areas, and these areas get different times of sunlight and all that. So I would definitely recommend your jaw here. So obviously with no makeup on, I would definitely recommend matching it, just patting some foundation here going down to the neck, because the main thing is we want it to blend into the neck, obviously. Now another question is, why does my makeup look cakey? This is going back to the previous question, well, the other questions as well. It's mainly with people applying too much makeup and then putting a lot of powder on top, thinking the powder is going to kind of counteract that liquid and just set it in. But the only thing that does is just add thickness. It adds cakiness to the makeup. Back to the other question, definitely recommend light layers. For cakiness, you want to be also using the right kind of powder. There is setting powder, there's loose and pressed powder. I always use pressed powder at the start under my eyes, followed by a loose powder just to bake a little bit. I don't bake all the time, but sometimes I find it works a bit better depending on my cycle or depending on just the day that I feel maybe a little bit more oily. Now the next one is 50-50 on everyone. is, do I really need to use primer? Now, honestly, at the start, I didn't even use primer. Well, not all the time. I felt some of them didn't work, but it was also just down to the type of primer it was that made me feel like that. I definitely recommend primer. Going back to the first question, when you're using skincare at the start to set your base, after that, you want to be using a primer. Now, if it's a tacky primer, like I do have the e.l.f. primer. Now that one is really, really good. You just want to wait for it to get a bit tacky so the foundation and all the product actually stick to it really well and make it work. Also, there are a lot of primers that help with pores, help with blemishes, help smoothing your skin out. Now, our skin is natural. Our skin's going to have texture. It's not about taking away texture. It's just helping it, smoothing it out a little bit, making it look extra flawless and gorgeous. Now, another question I get asked is, how many brushes do I really need for a basic set? Now, you don't need to overdo it with brushes at the start. It can be overwhelming, or it could be the opposite. You could just want to get all the brushes in the world. But the main brushes I would definitely recommend is a blending brush for foundation, a few eyeshadow brushes. We do recommend a dent brush, a more fluffier brush just for the blending on the outside. Maybe even a really detailed brush just to add some highlight, or if you want to do some patterns or anything like that, you want to carve out the eyebrows. What we would also recommend is a fluffy brush for the powder. For loose powder, I do like to use a fluffy brush just around here, going around on the cheeks and the forehead. A blush brush, bronzer, I personally don't like to mix those together. Also concealer brush and highlight brushes I do use. Sometimes I just use a small fluffy brush and pinch it and then just kind of go in. It works better for me and my skin, especially with acne. Sometimes I do get acne here, and I love highlight, love blush. And I don't want it to be enhancing the acne too much. I kind of just want to make it look as natural and beautiful as possible. Now, question number 8. Should I do eyes or face first? Now, I personally do eyes first always, especially with heavier looks. I would definitely recommend doing eyes first. You don't want to be having your perfect face set and then you're doing black eyeshadow and it's falling everywhere. I hate when that happens. I prefer to do eyes first, then face. If you're doing a natural look, I would do face first and then just add some light shadow. So honestly, it just depends on what look, but I prefer to do eyes first. Question number 9 is, do I need to spend a lot on products for my face to look good? Absolutely not. You don't need to spend a lot. Obviously, high-end makeup is good, but there's so many great drugstore brands and alternatives that you can use that work just as well, sometimes even better than the high-end brands. I can definitely do a whole video on some makeup, drugstore makeup that works really, really well and that I use daily for my own skin as well. That's just what works best for me. But yeah, you definitely don't need to be spending a lot on makeup for it to look good. And now the last question of this video is, how do I avoid flashback in my videos and photos as well? Now this can happen when there's a lot of SPF or white. It's like a white cast that we get in our photos. This is due to the SPF and the whiteness level of your foundation or your concealer, or even the SPF that you use during your skincare prep. Now, to avoid this, I would definitely recommend to actually check your products before an event. For events, you might want to use a makeup that's a bit different to your everyday, just because with everyday, you're in more natural light. You're not really taking photos with heavy lights in front of you or videos like that. So definitely blend really well. Do not over powder. Less is more, trust me. Yeah, I would definitely recommend just doing that and making sure you check your products before. You don't want to be using also any concealers that are too light and using such white powders. Pink powder is also really cool to use, especially around here for a more blush look, and it helps tone it down a little bit and makes it look beautiful. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching my 10 most common questions I get as a makeup artist and lash tech. I'm so happy that you stayed through this video and watched it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, please let me know down below, and I'm happy to do as many videos as needed of this. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate it. Bye!